Welcome back to another episode of the Control Your Epps-perience podcast. This is I, Alan, the namesake. Hoping the last week found you guys well. Not gonna lie, a lot happened on my end. I don't want to say none of it good, but most of it just indicative of 2020. I was trying to figure out where to put this in the podcast, but I mean, it's gonna be on my mind, so I might as well just get it out of the way. The internet's a weird place. You meet people, and the word meet itself is up to interpretation now with this social media and everything like that. And if you like me and you were around when Facebook first started and you needed a .edu email address to even get on it, there's people that you've been interacting with for over 10 years. You might have known them when you were a kid yourself. You've watched them grow up, get married, have kids, go through the rises and falls of their lives. And, you make bonds with people, and sometimes you never even met them. A friend of mine, her name's Tiffany McDaniel, ever since I knew her, we met in this group called FAP, which is a place where a bunch of other degenerates like me on the internet, we bring together all the funny memes and stuff that we find in other places in a private spot because a lot of people can't post them on their walls because their parents or preachers or whoever's on there. Where unlike me, I honestly don't care. But that's where I get a lot of my stuff from is that group, and that's where I first met, if you will, Tiffany. And from there, we haha on a few posts, nothing serious. But then I got into this game, and this is Royce's fault too, but called Clash of Clans, where they basically needed somebody. And when I got out of the military, I had some free time, so I joined that, and she was in our clan. Shout out to the Grove, named after Grove Street, Grand Theft Auto. Y'all know the vibes. Anyway, and she was one. I mean, there were a few females in there, but she's the only one that really lasted, and she was even in the group chat. And she was one of the boys, but a girl. For the most part, she's hilarious, very, very, very talented artist. I'm in Facebook jail right now, so I can't even go on there and you know participate with everybody else who is gathering there, and then go through get a lot of the photos and everything that I want to. But depending on my editing ability, I'll be able to just give a couple of the airbrush drawings. Like, she drew me. Like, she would that people in the group would say, "Oh my God, you're so talented." They would send her their profile pictures, and she draw them on. I don't know what she drew them on, but they look dope. And if I could get on Facebook again, I would have had a collage of all the ones that she's done over the last year or so. But all this to say is that ever since I've also known Tiffany, Tiffany has had issues with her kidneys. I don't know her exact situation other than the fact that she was on dialysis and she needed a donor kidney. And if you notice, everything is in the past tense here because unfortunately, last week Tiffany lost. She ran out of time to get another kidney, and she's no longer with us. And I still don't know how to feel about it. It's been over a week now, and you wonder, like, she was a young girl, like early 30s. She leaves behind a husband who actually listens to the show. Shout out Alan. Gives me pointers. He's been a supporter from the inception of the show, so that means the world to me. And I need him to know that we hurt with him, not for him. Tiff was one of us. Tiff was one of our friends, and I can't imagine what you and your daughter Hannah are going through. So your family is continuously in my thoughts, and you have the condolences of the entire Epps-perience family with it right there with you. Um, yeah, man, and then you start thinking about, I'm an organ donor, but it was just never in the realm of my possibility that she wouldn't get a kidney. Like, she's a young good person. My neighbor has gotten two kidneys. Like, he got a kidney and then it stayed with him for a while, but then his body started rejecting, and he got another one. So I don't know how I rationalized it that this could happen. That this was couldn't happen because she would eventually get a kidney. Didn't even bother to, like, go check to see. I don't even know what the process is to see if I could have gone and donated a kidney, and now she's gone. And I say all that to say, if you're an organ donor, or if you're not an organ donor, I encourage you to become one. You know, Tiff was a hotep, but she was a hotep with sense. You know, and I get black people's distrust of the medical machine and everything like that, and I'm right there with you. But if you can be an organ donor, I strongly encourage you to do it. A lot of black people seem to think that because if they put an organ donor on their ID, that now they're going to be targeted for organ harvesting. Like they suspect that the kid in Georgia who was found rolled up in a gym mat with his organs missing. And to that, I ask you, if you think there are people out there body snatching black people for their organs, you think they're only doing it to the ones who have it on their license? The people who say, yes, please harvest my organs in the event of my death. So these people are willing to kill you to take your organs only if you gave them permission in the first place? That's stupid. Okay, it's just fucking dumb. Okay, so if you can be that lifeline to someone, I encourage you to think about it. I've been looking into dialysis. I didn't realize, you know, the time limit, and she's been doing this for years, so it just became part of the normal. Tiffany would literally be clashing, playing our game from her dialysis chair. You know, and for some of us it was fun, but a lot of us it became an obsession. Like, you know, we played this game a lot, so you rely on your teammates, and Tiff was always reliable. A lot of good laughs in that group chat, none of which I'm allowed to disclose to y'all. And again, it's a bunch of guys, and she held it down. None of our business ever came back to her. So if she did spill the beans, she controlled her hose because we never heard anything back about it. And she's gonna be missed, man. I'm gonna post a link to the GoFundMe in the description of this, just because, as you can imagine, homegoing services cost. She lives behind a husband and a daughter. They've been dealing with the dialysis for years, you know, so the expenses there, and then, you know, anything, if you guys can give anything, it would be much appreciated. And I want to dedicate this podcast to my friend Tiffany's memory. Gone but never forgotten, and clashing won't be the same without you. In that same vein, I guess we're gonna keep talking about sad shit. For those of you who don't know, I went to Tuskegee University, and there's a fellow there known by many as Jose Hustle, but his birth name is Rasheed Walker. And I didn't know him, but a lot of people that I know knew him. Tuskegee and pretty much any HBC really is like the 13th grade where everybody knows everybody. He came in after I graduated or just as I was graduating, so kind of like a generational thing. But when I went to go look at his page, I have definitely seen him at homecomings, and he's in pictures with people I do know really well. And for what I understand, man, he was doing a lot of good things in Nashville, Tennessee, you know, giving back, helping kids and everything like that. And somebody snatched his life this past week, and that's all I know about it. No details or anything like that, but just another young black man gone, one who was making a positive impact on the world around him. So prayers and condolences to my Tuskegee family, to his family, and I mean, what can you say? This is we got to get tired of this. We have to get tired of us not growing old, us not being able to actualize our full potential. And that's the other thing that really chaps me about Tiffany. I'm sorry, I had to go back to that. She was a black woman, and you know, I talked to Alan briefly in my initial shock, anger, and grief. You know, he's a husband, and I'm over here dumping this on him. So again, I apologize. But in the trying to rationalize how this could happen, how she didn't get a kidney, what the deal was, he left me with the impression that she was basically put on a black burner as a black woman, that she was not a priority, that people even messed up because I remember her talking to optimistic that she was imminently about to get a kidney, and then she didn't. Something happened, but I didn't want to pry because I'm sure she was devastated. But I have no doubt that she got bumped or whatever. I don't understand. She spent over 8 years waiting, and how much longer they expected her to wait. So we can't keep doing this to ourselves. Because the medical, you know, machine is doing it to us. The shit weighs on me, and I'm sure all of you 24/7. And in the spirit of that weight, I go on the internet and I see that Bobby Brown's son, Bobby Jr., passed away, and he was only what 28. No details around it, but it's just like that man has lost almost everybody dear to him. It's just like the world will beat you up if you let it, man. And I don't know. I'm not this profound dude when it comes to death. My response is to laugh through things and to just try to be there for people, but it's just been a constant year of this shit. Like, what are you supposed to do, man? All you can try to do is look forward to tomorrow. Hope tomorrow's better. I think we've all convinced ourselves that January 1st is going to be a reset. I mean, we can hope, right? But I don't know what in the recent current events leads anybody to believe that that's on the horizon. But hope's got a spring eternal. I guess that's what the New Orleans Saints were hoping. So Drew Brees went down last week. He cracked his ribs, had a punctured lung, whatever. And Jameis Winston came in and saw some action and helped the Saints get a win. So it was just understood that Jameis Winston was supposed to start this week. So I picked him up in my fantasy. Only to find out that, no, the Saints went with Taysom Hill. And, you know, I'm not a Saints fan, so I don't really care from a football standpoint. But just from the trope that black excellence is always somehow juxtaposed against white mediocrity. All right? You know, Jameis Winston obviously is the superior arm talent. That can't be argued. All right? He put up record numbers now, not all of them good. He threw just as many touchdowns to his own team as interceptions to the other team. But the fact of the matter is he has the arm talent, and coaching should be able to get him above that. He has a resume from college and in the NFL. Taysom Hill is a 30-year-old poor man's Tim Tebow. And honestly, that's disrespectful to Tim Tebow because Tim Tebow had a resume. Tim Tebow got wins. All right? This man has no passing accolades other than the fact that he can throw a football. But somehow he's laudable as this X factor, to, you know, like Kyle Bowler was to break a football game open. I'm not saying the man doesn't have talent, but he's a tight end. Okay, he's a tight end. He's a decent receiver. He's got good speed, and yeah, he can do some wildcat shit. But he is not an NFL passer by any stretch of the imagination. But this man not only has his fat contract, which okay, but he's getting the start over Jameis Winston, almost as if they're entertaining him as a possible successor to Drew Brees. So he played today, and I think he went 11 for 22. They won, but it was the Falcons. It wasn't like he just dominated or anything like that. So that's just mind-boggling to me, but whatever. Fuck the Saints. Evidently the Cowboys won. You know, I'm doing this while the game is on or ending. Yeah, so who knew that was going to happen? Our rookie, Stephon Diggs' little brother, broke his foot last week. So that was the last shining spot on that team. But hey, they got to win against a pretty good Vikings team. Dalvin Cook, they got some weapons over there and decent defense. So, yeah, good job. Moving on, let's get into politics real quick. So, you know, Biden has been railing because Trump is still throwing his tantrum about the election being rigged and he's not conceding this, that, and the third. And because of that, Biden is being hampered in his transition. And evidently there's like a fund that is set up that he should be able to access, but because Trump is blocking him, he can't access it. So he's been sending out links asking for money from people, and the Twitter response is hilarious. Like, why does nigga ask me for $40? But beyond that, at least he has been alluding to what he wants to do to hit the ground running. Last pod, I gave you guys the 3 names of people that were being considered for his cabinet that I was none too thrilled about. But now, in what seems to be a good move, not only just by position, but if we were to draw inferences in the mentality and the aim, the direction of policy to come, he has named several experts in systemic racism to key positions within the Treasury. Now, the first of which, hold on, let me get their names because the names are interesting to say the least. And where that you might be wondering why, well, I'm sure nobody black is wondering this, but they are financial experts, but they are also experts on the disparity of wealth between black America and everyone else, and how policies keep that going, beyond just the words on the paper of how this impacts African American, I'm sure other minority communities. So the fact that they're in there putting their context and 2 cents in when policies are getting drafted and enacted is at face value promising. So where's her name? It's Indian. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So I apologize if I say this incorrectly, but it's Mirza Baradaran. If I have to guess, this is an Indian woman. I don't know. There's no picture of her. She's the author of The Color of Money, and it's a key reference on the racial wealth gap. And she's been tapped to this team to help the Treasury Department for the transition. Doesn't exactly say what her specific position is, but she's joining the landing team, whatever that means, along with a woman named Lisa Cook, a black woman from Michigan State University, who is also an expert on racial implications and economic growth and whatnot. There are several other names on this landing team. A man named Don Graves, who leads the Treasury landing team. He's a former Obama administration official and was the head of corporate responsibility at Key Bank until he joined the campaign. There was no picture of him. Bill Bynum will observe the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. He is chief executive of the Hope Credit Union, and he is a black man. And then you have Tanae Dolphin, who will serve on the Commerce Department's landing team. She is the first executive director of the Greater Washington Black Chamber of Commerce, and she is assistant. So that's optimistic. You know, I said I'm trying to be fair and just more so keep people up to date on what's going on in the infancy of what appears to be Biden's presidency, notwithstanding Trump's nonsense right now. But on the flip side of that is, you know, evidently the Trump's ass is on the line once he loses that presidential protection from prosecution, particularly in New York. They are digging in his ass about these taxes and tax fraud and everything like that, which always bothered me. It's like he keeps saying that his taxes are being audited, and they've been audited for 4 years, but whatever, being audited, and as soon as they're released, he'll release them. But the IRS is the government. So if the IRS has them and the government wants them, I understand maybe not released to the public, but if he's being investigated, why can't they just get them? Like, I'm assuming that can happen once his presidential protection is gone. Then they can just get it from the IRS. But I wonder if it's kind of like a HIPAA thing. God damn. I wonder if it's kind of like a HIPAA thing with his financial privacy records and everything. But I mean, if they're getting subpoenaed, I don't understand how the government just won't give it to himself. Whatever. I don't know. But suffice to say, he's got a bullseye on his back, and that's probably in no short reason why he's contesting the election, not just to stay in office, but to duck that wreck from the New York prosecutor. So more to see on that. And of course, you know, the Republican Party is still cowering, and I always wonder why, because, you know, some of them are like clearly glad that they can just get rid of him and go back to trying to be the GOP. But the issue is, there are a lot of people who are Trump fanatics, and I never really thought of this because I didn't think Trump would even want to do this shit anymore. He barely wanted to do the job in office. But once he gets kicked out or leaves office, who's to say that he doesn't stick around and threaten to manipulate a good amount, if not most, of the Republican base, where now he split their vote, much like you guys were scared that Kanye and everybody was going to split the Democratic vote. Now, even though he's not even in office, not running for office, the Republican Party is still being held hostage. You know what? Serves you dumbasses right, because y'all thought y'all were just going to vote this circus clown in here and put anything you wanted to sign in front of him and whatever. No, he hijacked your party. So that's why they got to play nice with him. And it's funny because a lot of his protesters are threatening not to show up in the Georgia election, which is ass backwards, but whatever. And that's another reason why the Republicans are being scared to just be like, all right, he lost. I mean, some of them are coming out and saying it. I think Chris Christie called his legal team an embarrassment today. But for the most part, they're walking on eggshells because they still need the president to be presidential. Good luck. But with all of that, Biden was asked what he's going to do if, he's prosecuted or people want to bring charges on him. And Biden said, basically, my name Bennett, I ain't in it. I'm not going to lead a witch hunt after him, but I'm not going to interfere with the Justice Department's investigation or anything, which I think is bullshit. I think it's along the same lines of when Nixon was impeached and got out of office and then he was pardoned. Yeah, but Joe's trying to sell this whole we're going to heal America or bring everybody together shit. Whatever. If he broke the law, nail him to the fucking wall. It's that simple. But I don't think it's going to happen. Well, at least not from Biden. But that New York prosecutor seems like, I believe his sister too. She seems like she's got a hard on for him. So we'll see where that goes. Let's get into the rap world for a second. There have been a lot of shooting. Like, these young rappers are dropping like flies. Like, we saw King Von died, and a guy out of Dallas called Mo3, who I had to check him out. I had never heard of him until he was killed. But man's had bars, and the way he was killed, like a hit was on him. Somebody chased him down in broad daylight on the highway and shot him. That's insane. But evidently he was affiliated with Lil Boosie. I don't know if he was signed to Boosie or Boosie was like, a mentor or whatever, but he's affiliated with Lil Boosie, and Lil Boosie went to Louisiana, I guess, to pay his respect. I mean, not to Louisiana, to Dallas, to pay his respects, and they shot Boosie. In a way, like, this shit is, I don't know, man. And then Benny the Butcher of Griselda, he got shot in Houston. They tried to rob him outside of a Walmart. So, at least that's the common thinking. It could have been more than a robbery. It could have been a hit. But he took one in the leg, I believe, and he's going to be okay, thank God. And now, you got Meek Mill on the tail of this, making a tweet saying that he would like to sign a lot of young Philadelphia rap talent, but everybody's beefing with everybody, and he needs niggas to get over that shit. And now they threatening me, talking about you can't come here, you can't, like, and I don't care about people's hood passes and shit, but at the end of the day, it's like, what are we doing out here? And a lot of us are detached from it because a lot of us are 30 and up, or a lot of us ain't in the streets or weren't ever in the streets, ain't in there anymore. But then we roll this over to the Jeezy and Gucci battle, and I'm seeing grown-ups with degrees arguing everything but the music. My real nigga this, and the streets love that. I'm like, how the fuck do you know? I'm gonna get into y'all in a minute. But before I do so, I have a question for y'all niggas. Who are the ops? Like, I've heard this term. I think the first time I heard the ops was when I got called an op by a fucking third grader when I was teaching in DC. And this little girl, I saw her staring at me, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, Mr. Epps. I'm like, yes. She's like, you a op. And she got her like a real squinty eyes at me, like she was just pondering that shit. She just labeled me, and she pointed her little finger, you a op. I was like, I didn't know what it was, but I knew I didn't like it. So I was about to yoke her up, but then I remembered that I was an adult. And I think at the time I went on Urban Dictionary, and somebody, you can write anything on Urban Dictionary. It was like, oh, it's an opportunist. I'm like, these niggas ain't this fucking witty. And so that was in 2015, 16. So I've come to the conclusion that it's necessary. It's the opposition, and anybody can be the ops. It's not necessarily your mortal enemy. It's not necessarily another gang. It's just somebody who is not in line with something you want to do or want done or want out of life. They are your ops. So, whatever. But with that, I don't like you new kids slang, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. But with that, you got people talking about this Jeezy and Gucci battle like anything but the music. And for some context, again, I went to Tuskegee University. I was a freshman in 2003. So I was in the South when Young Jeezy came up with the Trap or Die mixtapes, and then of course dropping TM 101. I was there for Gucci Mane's rise as well. You know, the Will Chamberlain mixtapes and all that. So I'm intimately familiar with both of them. I didn't quite pay attention to their beef. I just figured it was two niggas trying to be the toughest rapper in Atlanta. And then I later found out about the chain incident, you know, where Jeezy put a bounty on his chain, allegedly, and then one of Jeezy's CTE rapper homeboys allegedly tried to rob Gucci, pistol whip him, at which point Gucci Mane shot him, killed him. I understood that, but I don't really follow rap beefs that ain't about the bars, because I don't care. But with that said, these battles, yeah, and they've done some where the relationships between the two people are spicy, if you will, like the Monica and Brandy one. But for the most part, it's been billed as, while it's a versus a battle, it's almost a celebration of love for the culture. Whoop. But this one, these motherfuckers still don't like each other. And I think I remember an interview when I was down south on the radio where Jeezy and Gucci were talking to each other, but they weren't in the same room, talking about, I don't got no problems with Patrick Davis. This is Gucci Mane. Or, you know, some shit like that. It was an interview. But evidently they had stopped it. And because it's been going on for 15, 20 fucking years, my nigga. Like, you know what I mean? So, what else is there to do? And my thing is, again, I'm nobody's gangster. I'm not a thug, none of that shit. I'll peel your shit back. But, I mean, that's just, any man will do that about his. But here's my thing. If you believe that somebody put a hit on you, I'm not going to sit there and tell you how to feel about that other person, because I don't have that much forgiveness in my heart. But at the same time, if you're not going to do something about it, I'm pretty sure that, you know, the streets are do something to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So how everybody was claiming, oh, the streets the real Gucci gets the real rappers or the real niggas vote for the battle. He already won before track one is played. People are arguing shit that is not the conversation. We having multiple conversations about who won the battle. The one I'm having and the only one I care about is the fucking music. Everybody else talking about, oh, he called him pussy, this, that, and the third. And it was tense, man. Like, I mean, at first, it was childish, and it looked like Jeezy either was that dude who didn't have jokes or just didn't care, whatever. But then, you know, right around when Truth got played, and, you know, he was calling him, and then it became clear that Gucci did not come to try and win this battle musically, because he wasn't playing even his bigger songs. He was playing fuck Jeezy track after track after track. So it became clear to me that they had two different objectives from jump, as far as what they wanted to present at this battle. So anybody arguing that this was even close, and I got my scoreboard, I'm gonna run it through it so you guys can see that I was being objective, but it was not close on the music. Now, if you want to argue that Gucci outshined him, out real nigga him, whatever, all right. Because just like you're saying, you can't. Everybody wants to give Young Jeezy the mature thing for not engaging and everything, and then the Gucci fans are protesting like, how are you gonna call that man mature and a bigger man when he's the one who put a hit out on Gucci and Gucci agreed to even do this? That's the mature, which is fine. But at the same time, if you want to play that game, Gucci fans, you can't say that and then have this man come on there and basically antagonizing and bringing up the dead homie that he killed and everything like that, like he wants smoke. And y'all swear he wanted smoke because he showed up with like 15, 20 niggas when Jeezy showed up with Jeannie Mae. And a lot of y'all think he had a gun on him. That's why he was in that jacket. That's why he wasn't sitting down and everything ready for it to pop off. But if he was that ready, why hasn't he done it by now is my question. Because you sent a hit on me and I killed the dude that you sent. I'm coming to find you. I'm not going to give you a chance to send another nigga. It's just not going to happen. So, again, I ain't no street nigga, but I'm pretty sure that's how the mob would do this, right? Like, so, and that's what you motherfuckers try to emulate. But whatever, man. That's a whole other stupid ass argument. The only people who are having that argument are to deflect from the very obvious musical ass whooping that took place. And only when you give Gucci the extreme benefits of the doubt was it close. Which I'm going to do. And I'll run you guys, and you can hit me up in the comments or my email, Twitter, whatever it may be, to tell me how much of a hater I am, whatever. But let's get into this. So the caveats are, in other battles, one artist would lead the first 10 tracks, like would have to play theirs first, and then the other one will respond, and then they flip. This whole battle, Gucci led every every track, which I'm wondering if was by design because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to control the energy, I guess, and maybe he thought his catalog was so deep it wasn't nothing that he could do to respond, which is delusional. Or he knew that he wasn't coming here to win musically, so it didn't fucking matter. He just wanted to keep setting the tone on every round. I don't know. But round one, Gucci came out with Gucci vs. Jeezy. He kind of remixed it. The first line, where the rap game hard. The dope game hard, the rap game easy. But then he was like, this is round one of Gucci Mane vs. Jeezy. Bars, right? But because of that, with that song and that beat drop, it was a nice round one. And then Jeezy just did an intro off one of his tracks. So I'm wondering if that caught him flat-footed because that Gucci vs. Jeezy was a diss, and he thought maybe they were just gonna come in with their name songs, their introductory songs, because the song is literally called intro. So I gave that to Gucci because that was a clear okay. The next round was Benchwarmers versus Trap or Die. This was no contest, Jeezy. Trap or Die is a better song musically. It charted. Whatever. The next one was I Think I Love Her versus Standing Ovation. And again, Standing Ovation is an iconic song, but I think I Love Her is probably Gucci's strongest song because that went off in the clubs and it was also mainstream. Like, everybody knows Susie's Part. I've seen niggas rapping Susie's Part with their weird asses. So even though Standing Ovation is perhaps a better song, I gave that to Gucci. Easy. But then after that, Plain Jane versus Gangsta Music. Like, you niggas don't remember that fucking song. I'm a Dog is another strong underground hit for Gucci. And again, I'm the Bruhz. So I remember when that song got played. But Bottom of the Map, stop that. Like, that song had everyone saying Jeezy's ad-libs. Like, no. Easy win for Jeezy. Vet Pass By got played. I don't really like this song, but I don't like Jeezy's response, which was Jeezy the Snowman. He should have hit him over the head with something that popped. Both of these songs were kind of like throwaway tracks, and if you don't respond to a throwaway track with a throwaway track, so we can call that a draw. Really, it should go to Jeezy because Jeezy the Snowman was a better song, but we can call that a draw. If you want to give that to Gucci, I don't care. But then here's the funny part. So everybody was telling me that, the streets love Gucci and the real niggas want, and everybody who thinks Gucci ain't gonna win ain't from Atlanta. So why is this nigga going straight to the feature tracks? This is round 7 and he plays Wake Up in the Sky with Kodak, and it did numbers, but the song itself is just, it's booty, man. And then that beat was all slow. Y'all been playing this mad aggressive ass trap music, and then you go to Wake Up in the Sky. But then Jeezy took it back with Dem Boys, with the Boys in the Hood. So, yeah, he said we're not doing that yet. Jeezy. So right now I've got through. Hold on, I'll do it at 10 rounds. After that, round 8, That's My Hood versus Let's Get It, Sky's the Limit. Again, Jeezy. And that's part of the reason why I didn't really rock with early Gucci Mane, which everybody loves Fat Gucci, but it sounded so remedial. Like, and I was in the South where this music was supposed to flourish, and it did because everybody had box Chevys and these obnoxious ass systems and they trunk rapping. So yes, Gucci's beats were amazing, but he sounded remedial as fuck. It's just da 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 da. He's like Umar Johnson's formula for a rapper. Let me say the same thing 2-3 times, get it in your head, and then go on. Then Gucci goes, sensing he's losing, had to get into his feature bag and pulled out both with Drake. Easy win. I called this as a win. I didn't know what Jeezy was going to play, but I gave this to Gucci off rip. And Jeezy played Go Crazy. I probably would have said that elsewhere, but again, if I'm going to be honest, if I'm going to beat up Wake Up in the Sky like that, I'm going to beat up Go Crazy, because I never really liked that song myself, even though it's a classic song, everybody knows the song, but yeah. So I gave that one to Gucci. That was an easy one for him. Easy point. And then I thought Gucci was gonna steal because he played Bricks because again it's a hood classic, not necessarily a charter, but it rang off. But then Jeezy came right back out there and smacked him with All There featuring Bankroll Fresh R.I.P. And even Gucci said it, Bankroll saved your ass. So through 10, I've got one, two, three and a possible if you give the draw to Gucci. For Gucci to seven. 7 or 6. Alright? So then we get into the latter rounds where it starts getting hot. And again, Gucci's still leading. So he played, and when I say leading, I mean starting off the round instead of letting Jeezy play and he respond. So Gucci plays Half a Brick. And before I even heard the next song, I gave that to Gucci because that's probably Gucci's first song that really like turned the world on to him. Like everybody heard So Icy. So Icy it's a cool collabo song and it's iconic in the club. But Half a Brick was their first one that was like, oh, had people checking for Gucci. And Jeezy played Who Dat, which it's not a bad song, but it was a good throwaway because Half a Brick was going to win regardless. So Gucci got that one. And then he goes right back to the feature. He plays Steady Mobbin' with Weezy, which is a decent song. But then Jeezy hit the Day No remix, which if you're in Atlanta and you're calling this round for Gucci, you are a hater. Because this beat is iconic. It has Shorty Low on there, and Jeezy murdered that verse. That shit rang off in the clubs. So while the Steady Mobbin', I like the Steady Mobbin' song, get the fuck out of here. That's an easy point for Jeezy. And that's what's really striking me is like the points that are getting won are clear winners. There's no, oh, I like this song, I like this song. No, the only ones where they're close were the throwaway tracks. Then Gucci played Heavy, to which Jeezy played Lose My Mind. Lose My Mind is a way better song, but because of the energy at the time and Gucci was staying real disrespectful. I could see how this just off straight energy was gonna go. Right around this time, niggas was talking about no, that was like around 7 or 8 when Gucci Man was complaining that, man, you living in '05, play something new. And Jeezy hit him with these classes, nigga, get you some. And then, Gucci started arguing about his jewelry and look at my opponent because Jeezy was dressed like it was '05 again, which I thought he did that on purpose. But then Gucci was I spent $10,000 on this, which, of course, I find it hilarious that Gucci fans are doing his lyrical breakdown because if lyrics really matter to you, you wouldn't be Gucci fans. But anyway, they were saying how the jewelry, the shot about the jewelry, he wasn't just flexing his jewelry on Jeezy. He was mentioning that, that was an homage to you tried to get my chain took and I still got it. And then he was saying $10,000 on his outfit is referencing the bounty that was on his chain that sent his homeboy to come and try and take it. So, okay, fine. Let's say that's because it's not too deep of a dive. Let's say that's the truth. My man, you look like the old report card envelopes. You remember when we used to get physical report cards? Like, what the fuck? This is how you spend $10,000 on this shit that look like a Werther's original? Like, he looks like Kamala Harris's Timberlands when she got off that plane. That's what Gucci Man looked like. And then you got them big ass veneers, brightest. I don't know. But whatever. Y'all Gucci niggas swear he won the real nigga Olympics, and I said I wasn't gonna get it from that. Where do we stop? So yeah, Heavy versus Lose My Mind. Lose My Mind wins that, but I even gave that one to Gucci because I already know how niggas was gonna argue that. Gucci then came out with Street Niggas, and Jeezy played Way Too Gone, and the energy didn't do it for me. Like, even if I musically think that Way Too Gone's a better song, that was not the proper response. Like, you have the chance to drop a spade, and you came with this. So I gave that one to Gucci. Gucci played First Day Out. I don't want to say hood classic, but it resonates. But Air Forces, that's not an argument. Shut up. Gucci played Photo Shoot. Jeezy played Everything, which again, energy wise, and then the Photo Shoot had people even in the comments, hitting the lyrics. I'm like, wow, y'all know Gucci lyrics. So I gave that one to Gucci. And then Gucci came back out again with another feature, Wasted, which I knew he counted as a point, and so many people counted as a point, but Jeezy hit him with Trap Star. Okay, you got a song that did numbers and did well that everybody knows, but Trap Star is a fucking classic. And these are off TM 101, which is why I said off TM 101 alone, Jeezy could damn near win this whole thing. Not every round, but he could put it out of reach. So that one went to Jeezy. That's round 17, Trap Star versus Wasted. Round 18, Truth. And this is where it got tense because this nigga was hitting every lyric on this and they let it run past the little 60 seconds or whatever it was. And, before Jeezy came on, he's trying to do intro a song. And then it seemed like, look, man, I told you that I wasn't on that bullshit. And I'm like, oh, was he not supposed to play that? But then in the rant, Gucci said, I told you I'm not even doing this if I can't play Truth. It is what it is. Was calling them all kinds of pussies and shit like that. And Jeezy did the whole, this for the culture, we need to put our shit aside, let's just end this shit right now. And then he came in with fucking Get Your Mind Right. And Get Your Mind Right is an infinitely better song than Truth. However, Truth has specific disrespectful bars, and I gave that round to Gucci Mane. I don't even want to argue it. Get Your Mind Right is the way better song, but Truth hit him. Like, it is what it is. And then 745, another song that I'm sure Gucci likes a lot, but Jeezy got into his feature bag and put on with Kanye. Yeah, no, easy round for Jeezy. And then again, the last round where this is what really pissed me off because I feel like you're supposed to make a statement with the 20th song. Gucci played Trap House, which is one of his known songs, and then Jeezy played this Feel Good Seen It All. And it's a good song, but that's not how you end a fucking battle. So I gave that round to Gucci. So through 20, right here. So before we were at, 7-3, 6-4, depending on if you give the draw to Gucci. On the last one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I give all the ties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 outright. And 6 if you give it to the tiebreaker. But I'd say 5, honestly. So you go from 7-3, 6-4 to 5-3. So, and that's me being benevolent, and that's with Jeezy giving away 2 rounds, getting caught flat-footed in round 1, and then not putting the stamp on round 20 because they kept going after that, not getting scored, but Gucci didn't even play Lemonade, which I'm sure the women were waiting for them to play. But that would have rung off. That definitely could have got some of these throwaway tracks out of here that Jeezy threw. But why he didn't start or end with Jeezy? Didn't start or end with TM1 Thug Motivation 101 or his name Jeezy spelled out, or even Soul Survivor. I mean, it's a decent track. It rung off. It would have been a feature, but it wouldn't have been my start or ending track. So he left meat on the bone, and it still was a decisive victory. He gave up 2 rounds. He was trying to control the he didn't play any diss tracks or whatever. He didn't play Stay Strapped. You know what I mean? So he left meat on the bone, and he still soundly beat him. Like clearly, I don't want to say soundly because soundly makes it seem like manufactured Scott Storch, but he clearly beat him. Every round that he won, it was a knockout round. Like, he won. But y'all motherfuckers still arguing the music, and honestly, there's many hypotheses of why y'all are, again, arguing something that we're not arguing, which is not the music, or the people who really like Gucci's music are the same people who used to put their mouth on a water fountain in school, or, had IEPs and only had one teacher all day. I've seen so many jokes on Twitter, and they're all accurate. So, enough of that. It is what the culture needed. I was worried, though, not only at the battle when Truth got played, but they said that, all right, it's over. They squashed it, kind of, and let's go to the compound. Never mind the fact that coronavirus is still out and about, but I just knew somebody was going to get shot at the compound. I talked to my Atlanta constituents, and nobody got shot, so good on them. But, yeah, that's just bizarre to me. I'm not even going to get into the whole 21 Savage, calling Jeezy pussy, and so was 50. With who? Again, I'm not here for the real nigga Olympics. Like, it was about the music, and the music won. We talked about Biden. Let's get into Trump and white people whiting. So Trump is in addition to just contesting the election and not allowing the transition to start, he has been making some erratic moves. He fired the Secretary of Defense. I believe we talked about that last podcast, and the fear there is that he's going to make some unilateral moves. He's already started moving troops out of Afghanistan and Iraq, which every defense official is urging him not to do at this stage because certain conditions have not been met, but he's doing it anyway. The real concern is that he might use his executive powers for a strike on Iran or something like that, and thereby get us into another war. But now he has also fired the top cybersecurity official in Homeland Security. His name was Krebs? Where was it? Chris Krebs, I believe. Where'd it go? Krebs. Yeah, Christopher Krebs. And he was the CISA, which is the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency within Homeland Security. And basically his job was to certify that and ensure that the elections were secure. They were not being hacked. They were not being manipulated otherwise. And he made a statement saying that this was the most secure election that we've ever had in American history. And, of course, Trump don't like that, so he fired him. And, you know, I almost would look at getting fired by Trump as a badge of honor, and it seems like he does the same, because right after he got fired, he tweeted, "Honor to serve, we did it right, defend today, secure tomorrow, signature." She was hilarious. Oh, man. So, yeah. So he's clearly witch hunting anybody who would dare cast aspersion on the notion that he lost fair and square. So who knows who else's head will roll within the next couple months until January 20th. But that's what your man's is on. And on top of that, he is also auctioning off the oil rights to federal protected land, or formerly federally protected land up in the Arctic and the Yukon, where the oil companies want to dig in there and thus stand the risk of polluting everything up there, like they've done in Standing Rock. But this is up in the Alaska and the Arctic and the Yukon and stuff like that. So that he's making all these moves, trying to get it. You know, this is supposed to be his lame duck term, but he's clearly going to do whatever he can unilaterally until he gets out. Out of Philadelphia. Oh, excuse me. No. And of course, his supporters are still in the streets protesting. Like, it's hilarious and sad. You know, the Stop the Steal groups, and they're whining in the streets and everything. But, you know, the Boogaloo Boys, who everybody was worried about, were going to try and kidnap the governors and do all these militant actions and stuff like that. Two of them were arrested for allegedly trying to aid Hamas. And Hamas is a terror organization, which is insane, because these are the same, you know, the people who go to these militia groups are, I'm so American and 9/11 this, never forget, and back to blue. And they are trying to provide aid to Hamas. And I had to read into it, and I guess from their standpoint, they are looking at it as a guerrilla warfare where they can't win a straight up fight with the government, so all they can do is try to do guerrilla tactics to destabilize and to spread the government too thin. And by doing that, figuring that they help Hamas will do an attack, and then the government can't focus on them. At least that's the only way that makes tactical sense in my mind. Because ideologically, they're supposed to hate each other. But these dudes are even calling themselves the Boojahideen, which, if that sounds goofy, it should, but if you put it in contact with the Mujahideen, it makes a little bit more sense. If you don't know who the Mujahideen are, they were the Afghan rebels in the Cold War that the CIA and America were funding to help kick the Russians out of Afghanistan. And one of the more famous Mujahideen fighters was Osama bin Laden. So now they're calling themselves the Boojahideen from the Boogaloo Boys because they're helping out Hamas to try and hurt the American government. How that's not treason, I don't know. But they've been arrested, so more to follow with that as it develops. Now we can go to Philly. So, for those of you who don't know, which I hope none of you, but the Philadelphia police engaged in what's called the move bombing, where the local government authorized the police to do exactly that in 1985, to drop bombs on a residential home occupied by alleged black militants, the group Move. And they burned, I forget how big of an area it was, but 11 people died. There was an airstrike with infrared, so they were dropping bombs out of aircraft on Americans, on American residences, and blocks burned. Okay, and now, in their infinite wisdom, in 2020, the Philadelphia government is apologizing. And my question is to who, and to what end? Like, why do white people think that you can just say I'm sorry and move forward with no restitution and with no, more importantly, changed behavior? Because while this sounds insane to me, I was born in '85, so you're telling me that 35 years ago, local police got the okay to coordinate airstrikes and drop incendiary devices out of regular aircraft on American citizens, and this was fine. If that could happen in '85, and this ain't the '60s, this can happen in '85, what's to say it couldn't happen again? Why? Because we have camera phones? Because we're still seeing shit from the '60s happening in the streets with these camera phones. But they're sorry. What the fuck are we supposed to do with a sorry? Yeah. Yeah, no. I don't even know how to respond to that. And I haven't heard anybody official, anybody who black people look to respond to that other than run the money. That still ain't gonna fix it, but you owe. Pay what the fuck you owe. Get the fuck out of here with this I'm sorry shit. What else? What else? What else? All right. We still got some other heavy stuff, but I'll take this opportunity to say Happy Founders Day, November 17th, 1911, at Howard University on one thundery night. Four great men had a vision straight from heaven to form the illustrious Sons of Blood and Thunder. You know them as the brothers, the members of Omega Psi-Phi Fraternity Incorporated, of which I am a proud initiate as of the spring of 2007. So, you know, typically when I'm home, Founders Day, I either go to the rededication or go up to Thurkield Hall, where we were founded on Howard University, as I am pretty local to it. But with coronavirus and it being cold, and honestly, I was beat. Work kicked my ass that day, and I was 10 minutes away from a nap before the Bruhz called me and told me to come fellowship. So, due to the nature of their jobs, they all work together, and I know they don't have it, and I know I don't have it, so calculated risk, I went over there and hung out with them. I'm still sniffle free, so, yeah. But, root to the Bruhz. I hope everybody else was able to fellowship and dwell in the Omega Spirit in whatever way they was suitable to them on Founders Day. And I hope that we can get back to being out once outside opens. On the internet, there was a viral video of this old lady who was working at Subway, and mid-sandwich, she started nodding off. Like, and not just nodding off, like she went all the way to sleep and landed in this sandwich. And, you know, I missed the time where I could just laugh and be like, yeah, damn. But with the world being as fucked up as it is, and it being a sister, like, I had to look at it a different way. So some people immediately associated that with the heroin lean, because if you know anything about dope fiends and heroin, they'll lean and be half asleep and awake and still be standing up. But I looked at it as, this is a Subway, and this is an older woman, and she's working. Now, old people sometimes get jobs just to stay busy, but sometimes that fixed income ain't doing it, so they need a fucking job. And this woman could have been so old, you know, trying to make ends meet, on her feet all day. Maybe she's not getting her actual medication that she needs, or you know, blood sugar. I don't know. I just went into these various instances where this old woman is doing her damnedest to try and work, and now she's on the internet falling asleep in somebody's sandwich. So, like I said, this year has a cumulative effect on how you look at things. Like, I love the joke, and that's where I went with it. So, make sure you guys are protecting yourselves, man. You can't internalize this shit but so much. especially when you see nonsense. So we've gone 0 days without white nonsense, but now we got some black nonsense, and unfortunately, this one was fatal. So right down the, I don't want to say down the street, 20 minutes away from me in the district, there was a shooting in which it appeared to be a domestic incident where a 44-year-old man was killed. Let me get his name because I know her name. But why do we always do that? We get the name of the shooter, but not the victim. But at any rate, it was a domestic incident. But where it gets insane is that allegedly, the woman who killed this man, and her name is interesting. It is Nijinsky Lastassia Dix. So I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm looking at a picture right now. She's a sister. Chocolate thing. She looks like she could be short and thick, but I don't know. No full body. Just to paint a picture for y'all. But she's a PhD student, so a very smart girl, at the University of Illinois in Chicago. But remember, this shooting happened in D.C., and it's from her ex-boyfriend. And according to reports, they only dated 3 months, and they broke up back in May, it looks like. And she's 37 years old, and he's 44. So yeah, there were shots, and then she called the police, and when the police got there, she was kneeling at his feet. Witness heard her screaming, "Oh my God," and "help me," after multiple shots were fired around 5:30 p.m. on last Saturday. Not yesterday Saturday, but the Saturday before. And they saw her pacing on the balcony. She claims that she doesn't even remember it. She blacked out, but when she was, I won't say apprehended, but when the police arrived, she was sitting there saying over and over again, "You don't do people you love like that. That's not love," over and over again. So clearly she has some kind of break or whatever. But my thing is, what the fuck happened to you in 3 months that you stalked this man, found out where he lived in D.C., came over there with a gun, and then shot him? She says that he pushed her, so she shot him. I'm wondering if that's actually a physical push or she just felt pushed to the extremes. I don't know. One of these reports said that medical staff said she had an abrasion to the inside left lower lip. So that could mean anything. Like, yeah, he mushed you, or you pulled a gun on him and he tried to get away from you, you shot him. I don't know. But the point is, a man is dead over some nonsense, over some bullshit. And I hope she gets everything that's coming to her. I'm not going to do the low-hanging fruit about, oh, see, women are toxic too, because that's not a game anybody wins or anything like that. It's just, what the fuck has to happen, because men are doing this shit too. This is bizarre because it's a woman, let alone a black woman. This is like straight for the ID channel. I'm sure there's going to be an episode on there for, what is it, Snapped or Deadly Women or whatever those stupid shows are to celebrate women killing motherfuckers. But this is fucking insane. Like, she's a PhD student in gender studies, whatever that means. Everything going for her would appear. Only thing I can say is, and this is pure anecdote based on my experiences and biases, whatever they may be. But, you know, I used to dig older women. When I say older, I'd be like 20-something. I had a little shorty that was like 38, 40. I would routinely mess around with older women because, to me, it was simpler. They knew what they wanted. They didn't expect or want much out of me because I was younger than them. They just wanted hard dick and bubble gum. It was cool. It was chill. But I want to say right around when I got like 28, 27, that formula stopped. And I don't know if it was because now they're looking at me as older and now they do have expectations, even though they're much older than me. Not much, but significantly older than me. But every shorty that I started dealing with 35 and up was a psychopath. Straight up psychopath. And thankfully, I got away with just being harassed and from different numbers and shit like that. Thankfully, I never, I don't let them know where I lay my head or whatever, but obviously this chick found him, so if they really wanted to, they could have found me. Women are like the fucking FBI when they're on a mission. So, I don't know what her deal is. Perhaps there's a mental health aspect here, but it's not an excuse in my mind because this is clear predatory behavior. But I want to think that, you know, being a piece, that's a lot of school. That's hella years of school. She's 37. Maybe she felt her clock ticking as far as she's going to get a degree in her husband and her baby. I don't know. But this is bananas. And I'm reaching, trying to make sense of it all, but there's no sense to be made in somebody's life being snatched like this. Then less heavy news. So Luke Nasty, you know, what song did he make? Not the he did that remix to High. Luke Nasty songs. What do we got here? Yeah, it might be. I think it was Total song that he remixed. But his name is DJ Luke Nasty. And evidently he sampled some of Kirk Franklin's music to make another song. And I haven't heard the song, but it's got all the saints. And those are the air quotes for those of y'all who could see. It's got all the saints up in a roar because, you know, he sampled their song for whatever he wanted to do. I'm sure it's some freak nasty shit, whatever. And I'm annoyed with that because you so-called Christians have no problem taking secular music and pulling your own version of Kids Bop and trying to repurpose it for the Lord. Okay? So, on that standpoint, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If he wants to take y'all beat or whatever and repurpose it, he gonna do it. Just because you said it's holy, don't make it holy. But I am for Kirk Franklin, if he still holds the rights to his music, having autonomy to say that no, you can't do it. From what I heard, I haven't even gone looking for the song, but from what I hear, it's been pulled from a lot of the streaming platforms. And Kirk Franklin made a statement saying that he did not authorize the sample or clear the sample. I'm wondering if Kirk really felt a way about it, or if more so he's trying to pacify his base of churchgoers. Who knows? But y'all saints irritate me, and let that be the last time y'all try to turn, you know, one of our songs into something righteous for your services. Back in the music though, Jeremih is evidently fighting for his life from COVID-19. A young guy, evidently he's got asthma, and they had to put him on a ventilator. And I'm not gonna lie, every time I see the ventilator, man, my mind goes to the worst. I think the statistic is less than 33% of people who make it on the ventilator from COVID make it off. A very good friend of mine just had to bury her mother because of this very same situation where her whole family came down with it and her mom didn't make it. She went on a ventilator. She told us about that a couple of weeks ago, and you know, you try not to be that pessimistic person, which I get accused of. I mean, it's fair, but I made a conscious effort not to say anything. But you know, they told, I want to say a week after she got on the ventilator, she said that they were reducing the amount of oxygen they were delivering to her mom because her lungs were working better. So I was like, oh man, she's going to be one of the 33%. And then a few days later, she was gone. So I don't know. I hope he makes his young guy, talented guy, and you don't want to see anybody else struck down by this virus that doesn't need to be. But people, please take this seriously. It is not a game. It is not a game. I know we're tired of this shit, but it ain't done with us. It's not. And until we figure something out, it's going to be here. So please take it serious. Meg Thee Stallion dropped her album, which I'm sad about. Not necessarily because she dropped it, but a lot of her core base seemed to be underwhelmed with it, kind of like the last release. But evidently she dropped the song, taking shots at, direct shots at Tory. Evidently over the Who Shot You Be. I should probably listen to that song then, because that's interesting. And at her bestie, who I guess abandoned her, or former bestie, Kelsey, who abandoned her. But I bring up Meg because she was quoted as saying black girls get taught to be taught to be strong too early. And, you know, that's a common trope because black women are told to be strong, but then villainized for being strong. And then somehow, because black women are strong, it's become an alibi for black men or any other black men to be weak, because they'll pick up the slack. And that shit does need to stop. But at the same time, I think the only part of that quote that I take exception to is the too early point, because this world is cold. And yes, I would love black women to have a carefree childhood and everything like that, but even then, this world is cold. So, but strength is not blind. You're not supposed to be blindly applying strength to everything. with that strength needs to come discernment. Yes, be strong, sisters, but do not let people use you, because that's also strength. Knowing your worth and knowing who's deserving of your energy, of your strength, of your benefit. Don't fight for people that you wouldn't even fight. You shouldn't even fight traffic for. So yeah, that's more so right up there with the name of the show, Controlling Your Experience. Control your experience in real life. With that, I hate to end it on this, but there was another shooting in Florida, Cocoa, Florida, where two young black teens, AJ Crooms and Sincere Pierce, were killed by Cocoa, Florida Sheriff's Office. I watched the video that they released, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks like the cops this is open and shut as far as the cops getting off. Allegedly, they thought that one of the vehicles was stolen, and that the car fit the description, so they followed them. And in the video, the kids pulled into a driveway to park. But then when the cops got out the car, they backed out the car, tried to do a three-point turn. Allegedly, according to the lawyer Ben Crump, to get away from the police because they were terrified. The police were following them and got out the car with guns. And then they tried to drive off, to which the officer perceived that as the car heading towards him, and he responded with lethal force, killing two of the occupants inside. I think there was a third that made it. And the police are hanging their hat on that the car was advancing on an officer who had told them multiple times to stop. The surviving member of the party stated that they could hear the commands and they just wouldn't do it. So this is going to be a clear why didn't they comply. They could have killed the officer with that car. He had to respond. He's going to get off. I think the only real question is, will Ben Crump be able to get a settlement out of them to help take care of the victims' families, which is his role, by the way. His role is not to prosecute or anything like that. His role is to bleed, make a stone bleed, because these jurisdictions historically do not pay out for this shit. And Ben Crump gets money for his victims. So we'll say their names, we'll hang our heads, and as always, Black Lives Matter. But I don't know, man. What was that song? Change Gonna Come When? I'm tired of talking about our people getting shot down in the street. I'm tired of talking about rappers getting shot. I'm tired of talking about the same old politics, and nothing really changed for Black America. But I'm here, we're documenting it, we're engaged in the conversation. I hope that this all finds you well. Again, rest in peace to Tiffany McDaniel. Prayers to Alan McDaniel and their daughter Hannah. To anybody who knows Tiff, who I'm pretty sure if you're listening to this show, you might have, because that's where my group came from. I want to get some of her artwork. Again, if I can get it off the internet, it's hard for me to do it from Facebook jail. I'll put it in when I'm editing this video to get it on there. But again, the link to their GoFundMe will be in the description. And until next time, I invite all of you to continue to control your experience. Please, please, please hit me with the feedback. I'm going to see if I can get another featured commentator on here. But again, with coronavirus and everything, and then people doing their thing and Thanksgiving coming up, I leave it to you people to determine what's responsible as far as regards to your families and everything. A lot of people are canceling Thanksgiving. A lot of people are keeping it really low. But I hope you don't, not having what's normal to you in this year of all years can be very trying. So please, please, please do what you have to do to keep a positive outlook. Take care of yourself. Get unconventional, but be thankful that we're still here, even though we're struggling. Once again, you guys, you take it easy. Hit me up on the socials at Dependence Mightier on Twitter, at Control Your Experience, Epps-perience on Instagram, Alan Epps on Facebook. I'll see it when I get out. Or you can hit askapps@gmail.com for any direct feedback and, of course, the comments. Until next week.